and play that mucky style when it happens.
One more before we let you go, Mike, and that is where this trade market today, the inventory available, where does it rank in other ones that you've experienced? And we know you've experienced a lot here, just in terms of, I like some of the names out there and they can help, but it gets so overrated and they get so hyped up. I mean, not a lot of game breakers or game changers, but serviceable players are still out there. But what are your thoughts about this year's selections out there?
Well, obviously, the big piece in Philadelphia is a game changer, in my opinion. Whoever gets him is going to be getting a special player. After that, there's a lot of really good players. I mean, I think it's going to be really hard to trade players with term right now, like make hockey deals for a player with ex-player, because I think, and I mentioned this with Bourne the other night, I think if I'm a team that's buying and I'm getting another team's first-round pick as part of a deal, I want to know exactly where that slot is, right? I don't want to give a team a great player and put them on a 10-game run and all of a sudden the 15th pick is the 28th pick. I mean, those are deals that you do on the floor so you know exactly what your asset's going to be.
Right.
But it'll be interesting. I mean, there's some really good players. I think there's going to be a lot of movement. I think some teams are going to start to try and get ahead of it and say, as did Florida, and say, okay, this is where we're at now. And you know what? I've been enjoying this conversation so much. I think I'm in Niagara Falls. I tell you right now, I am nowhere near Sportsnet.
Hey.
But anyways, on top of that,
Hey.
it's Kyper. It's going to be fun. There's too many teams too close to not make moves. Whether it's the juicy blockbuster, I mean, there might be one or two of those. But I think everybody involved should be looking at a way of giving their team a little nod. And I look at this. I look at the trade like the Savard trade, right? Did Savard, at the end of the day, was he worth exactly the package they gave up for him? I don't think from a hockey standpoint, you're going to say, no, he wasn't. But the impact that had in the dressing room, we don't know, because the team immediately saw a great defense, a great piece coming in, saw that the organization was all in acquiring him, and they were rewarded with a Stanley Cup. So you can't just judge. I mean, and then as Berkey would say, there were 15 other teams that might have made moves that weren't rewarded. But if you just sit on your hands when you've got a team that's that close and don't reward them, I just think that leaves a lot to be desired.
Hey, do you know that you've spoken more on our segment here today than you have all year at 6:30 on Sportsnet Central?
There's short segments there.
Well, it's different when you're surrounded by all the all-stars there. You know,
Yeah.
Here I'm so comfortable with the real Kyper and Bourne that I can just be myself.
You are,
and plus I'm not staring at 8 different cameras wondering which one I'm supposed to look at wearing a bunch of makeup. I'm just being myself, which is pretty good.
You are on the A team here. I can tell you that.
100%.
Thanks for doing this.
Okay, we'll see you tonight, Bourne.
Carolina.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Futes.
Wow, he was good.
I mean, that's
Some
really
an
interview.
Good insight into that side of the trades, which I really enjoyed.
What do you think of the idea of getting a guy to reward the team who's spent the whole year getting close?
I like it.
You do?
I do, and I've been there, and it's a shot in the arm in the room.
Yeah. I like the idea that the Savard thing, maybe, his contribution wasn't worth the package, but plugging a hole and knowing that the team was taking, doing everything they could, having value.
We got time to assess the trade with Florida right now?
Not a chance. No?
We could do it if you want.
What time's our next guest?
So, I mean, you mentioned you make trades thinking about a guy that you may have to go up against. And
Yeah.
Ben Chiarot, Florida. They beat the Toronto Maple Leafs to Ben Chiarot. Did you know that?
The Leafs were trying
to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's Ben Chiarot, who has the secret sauce 12 months ago, how to beat the Toronto Maple Leafs with Montreal. The Ben Chiarot that ragdolled their top goal scorer.
Yeah, so you think the Florida saw that and liked the, all right, you can play against Matthews in the playoffs?
Yes.
All right, we'll throw you out there.
Yeah, and you've played them, and you know how to beat them, and you know what they like and what they don't like and how to get under their skin. Absolutely, the thought.
Counterpoint, way too much for Ben Chiarot.
Ben Chiarot will help them. Is he a game changer? Absolutely not. But Ben Chiarot will help Florida more than David Savard helped Tampa Bay
Yeah,
because
Florida had a bigger need.
There was Hedman. There was Ryan McDonough.
Yeah.
There was Chernak. There was
Ruda and
Sergachev.
Yeah.
So, Ben Chiarot has a bigger role, I think, on Florida moving forward, but that was a hell of a price.
First rounder, fourth rounder, and a prospect.
If we are sitting here today in the other world where I said that the Toronto Maple Leafs make this trade, what would your reaction be to this?
Pick a guy. Roni Hirvonen.
Yeah, Ronnie Hirvonen.
Giordano isn't a Toronto Maple Leaf yet because
that's the
to
package.
Mike Fuda's point is Ron Francis thinks, oh my gosh, if Chiarot went for that, then I can get something similar. He's not getting a first rounder for Giordano, nor does Kyle Dubas want to give that up. He's got to wait this out and watch that price to fall. I don't think there's a team out there that will give the Seattle Kraken a first rounder for Mark Giordano. Mark Giordano should be on your third pair. He cannot get up and down the ice, and you cannot trade him, Seattle, like he's still a Norris Trophy. And I think Mike Fuda mentioned that as well.
Right.
It's just not happening.
Just, the fit's tough, right? He's another left shot. I have some scenarios where the Leafs trade for a left shot guy because we're going to talk Lindholm later in the show as well. But, yeah, if it is for Giordano, you're right. It's got to be third pair. You're probably pairing him with someone who's defense first, whether that's Lyubushkin or Hall or someone like that. Like I heard about reuniting him with Brody. It's like I think you need Brody thrive. We'll talk about this all later.
Well, did you hear? I mean, Ceravelli was on the morning show today, and he was saying that he believes that the Giordano's first interest or priority is Toronto.
Yeah.
So his family's here.
Well,
it's coming home.
Let me ask you guys something. How many times was Mike Fuda asked about Mark Giordano on the show today? 0?
Yeah.
Sure likes him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Just there's other teams out there who are pretty interested in Giordano. I know that Giordano would come here.
He'd be like a Nick Foligno, where you look at. Well, I'm not saying it's going to be a disaster.
Okay. Wow.
I'm talking about
you're paying for some name and
reputation, character. You're taking another crack at grabbing those things, including a hometown boy, family, what it means to you. Kyle likes that sort of stuff.
Sure does.
But it shouldn't come at a first and a fourth like it did Foligno.
Has he always liked that, though? Because it seems like it's been the last couple of years where he's really changed, like the Spezza, Simmons,
but I think
Thornton,
this has been an effort
Foligno.
for a pursuit of character. I think he felt like the earlier Leafs teams that didn't get through lacked
another one that hasn't won a cup.
Character in the room. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point, actually.
Another veteron who has won one.
Bringing these great character guys, Thornton.
But don't
Spezza,
overhype
Simmons.
Giordano.
Oh,
if and when he comes.
I would never do stuff. Are you crazy?
You lead the whole thing.
We got a contest before we get to Gordo. It's